Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. There is a short clip of Nairobi Police boss Bungei, a clip that has been going viral for the better part of today. In the clip, Bungei with some other police officers are communicating in Kalenjin. And we know that's a public office, but we are seeing these individuals communicating in Kalenjin. I want us to have a look at that short clip, for it's going to form the basis of our analysis in this video. Before we do that, let me say this. When William Ruto was campaigning for the presidency last year, he made it very clear to Kenyans that his was a tribeless hustler nation, and he was attacking his political opponents of being tribal. While his team, he made it very clear, his team was a tribeless hustler nation. Now, as the president, if you compare William Ruto's government to all other governments that have ruled Kenya before, Ruto's government is coming out as more tribal than any other government that has ruled Kenya before. Yesterday, Ekuru, our court, published a list of CEOs in all the state corporations. In all the state corporations, a majority of the CEOs, if not all of them, are Kalenjins. So William Ruto saw it fit to only appoint Kalenjins as CEOs in almost all state corporations. While just last year, he was telling Kenyans that his team is a tribeless hustler nation. I want us to have a look at the clip of Bungei, after which we are going to dissect it, for Kenyans to understand what's happening behind the scenes. Have a look at this.
Very good. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you, God.
Yes. That's Nairobi Police boss Adams Bungei's office. And from the look of things, it appears that the office is a Kalenjin affair. That's a public office, and is naturally expected that it should have people working there from all communities, tribes. But we are seeing them speaking Kalenjin. That exposes the extent of tribalism in William Ruto's government. Ruto has shown these other government officials that it's not wrong to be tribal. After all, Ruto himself, the president, he's only appointing Kalenjins in his government. So these other lower officials, or these other officials, they don't see anything wrong in copying what the master is doing. That's open tribalism. And Kenyans should not accept that. And then secondly, you are now seeing clearly that the police force is gradually being reduced into a tribal affair. So instead of the police serving all Kenyans, usawa kwa wote, is actually usawa kwa Kalenjins. Because I'm very sure If you were to go to that office and you are not speaking that language, chances are very high you will find it very hard getting any help from that office. If you go there speaking that Kalenjin dialect, maybe you can easily find help. If you're not speaking that language, you will find it very hard getting assistance from that office. That confirms that our police office, or rather police force, is actually reducing itself into a tribal affair. And such police force cannot act professionally. It can't act professionally. Courtesy to William Samoei Ruto. And that also goes on to explain why the government is getting it completely wrong on almost everything. Getting it completely wrong on almost everything. I'm seeing a very high possibility where if an office is only full of one tribe, the way we have seen there, that can lead to corruption. And as I talk, it's widely rumored that there is a lot of corruption going on behind the scenes in Ruto's government. Just yesterday, Seth Panyako exposed top corruption in the government being spearheaded by Ruto himself, Rigathi Adenduale, and other top government officials. When you find an office only full of one tribe, it can lead to corruption. And then individuals who are qualified will also not get an opportunity to work in that office because of that tribalism and corruption. And that goes on to just lend credence to what Rigathi has been saying. A government of shareholders. That's coming out very, very clearly. And from that again, I won't be wrong to conclude that instead of William Ruto acting as a symbol of national unity, he is becoming a symbol of national division. Yes. Instead of bringing Kenyans together, he is dividing Kenyans along ethnic lines. If William Ruto was firm and against tribalism, even the lower government officials would not reduce their offices into a tribal kind of an office. But now that they have seen the masters being exactly that, they see no problem with reducing their offices into tribal offices. A confirmation that Ruto is failing as a symbol of national unity. That's something coming out very, very clearly. And that in one way or the other can pit communities against communities because all Kenyans are paying taxes. So when you have only one community dominating the public service, that can cause serious chaos. And that's where Kenya is heading to. Because it's very clear William Ruto is not changing anytime soon. As time goes by, he's getting more emboldened in his tribalism. I'm seeing problem ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Let me conclude by saying Ruto has failed the test. He has failed it completely. Kenyans should actually wake up and reject this mediocre leadership. Because if you want to look at a government that has failed, this one has failed flat. There is no doubt about that. There is no need of beating about the bush. This is a government that has clearly failed. Kenyans should demand for better leadership. This one has failed. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go, let me remind those who may not know, we have a medical appeal for Nudin Salah from Kajiado. Nudin is to undergo a kidney transplant. And for some days now, we have been trying to raise 1 million Kenya shillings to enable Nudin Salah undergo a kidney transplant. And very many of us have been contributing and are still contributing. If you wish to be part of those contributing, just channel your contribution to 0722 735 065. All contributions will highly be appreciated. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you.